So we, בשעה טובה, arrived to the last parasha of Sefer Shmot. It's amazing how the time runs, right? Already 2 parts of the Sefer Torah is over. So as we saw last weeks, we are learning about the Mishkan again, all these weeks. A lot of ideas that we should adapt. And as we said last time, the Torah repeats several times all the story of the Mishkan, sometimes with more details, sometimes with less details. Ramban mentioned 5 times. One of these 5 times is in our parasha, Parashat Pekude, when the people brought to Moshe all the things that they did. So the Torah doesn't only say they brought him all the things that they did, but it says they brought him that and that and that and that. And then we have all the list of the things. What? Inventory, all the things that they built. So it's seen from the tent itself, all the yeriot, and all the different kind of utensils, etc. Everything was brought to Moshe. So we are going to speak about these verses. I'm not going to explain why we repeat again. This we talked about last time, and Ramban explained about each one of the cases, but let's see what it says. ויביאו את המשכן אל משה. So they brought the Mishkan to Moshe. את האוהל. So what is Mishkan? Some explanations say that Mishkan is the first layer, and then oil is the second layer, and then we have Michsea oil, the third layer. There was 3 layers. And according to that, it should have been here, והביאו את המשכן אל משה ואת האוהל, and also the oil. So we can say that this is one of the things that brought the Mishkan, the first layer, then the second layer, etc. And some say that Mishkan is like a title that includes everything. So they brought everything to Moshe. And then it starts to say the details. The oil, which includes the different layers, all the utensils of the oil, etc., which are krasav, krashav, richav, amudav, adanav, michsei aorot ha'elim. So he continued to say everything. I didn't bring all the verses, and it ends with the cloth. ואת בגדי הקודש לאהרון הכהן ואת בגדי בניו לחיים. So it ends with the cloth of the Kohanim. All was brought to Moshe. The question here, the first question that we should ask, why it was brought to Moshe? Why to mention that everything was brought to Moshe? Wasn't it there? What does it mean that they brought it to Moshe? It looks like part of the, we'll see later, we won't see here, it's not in these verses, but later it says that Moshe built the Mishkan. Moshe was the one who assembled everything together, yeah. So everything was brought to Moshe to put it together. So what is the meaning of bringing it to Moshe? Now, after that it says, ככל אשר ציווה השם את משה, כן עשו בני ישראל את כל העבודה. The same as Hashem ordered Moshe, this is how Am Israel did all the work. So this is come to emphasize that they did everything. It looks like they did everything as Hashem told Moshe. Right. So why do we have to say that? It didn't change. Sometimes the Torah said to emphasize they did exactly as he said. But see, you can ask why you should say that. And not only that, after that it also repeat. וירא משה את כל המלאכה. And Moshe saw. So of course, if they brought him everything, you should have seen that. Right? And they brought and they see. What is the meaning of the seeing of Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe saw everything. Okay, of course, if they brought, he saw that. והנה עשו אותה כאשר ציווה השם כן עשו. And they did as Hashem ordered, they did. Again, it's repeat at least 3 times. They did all that Hashem said, and they saw that they did, like Hashem said, they did. Right? So it's repeat 3 times that they did as Hashem said. And then it ends, ויברך אותם משה. And Moshe blessed them. What blessing did Moshe give to them? It doesn't say. It doesn't mention what tefillah was said or what blessing. We can understand just bless you, right? Say bless you without them coughing, just say bless you for everything that you did. What is the meaning of that? Is it just thank you or well done, or it has some, what would happen without the blessing? It wouldn't work? Maybe. So, I mean, again, there are many, when you read it carefully, always there are many, many questions that comes that, why do you have to say that? What does it mean? What the Torah wants to tell us in all of that? And of course, the Mefarshim start try to answer at least some of these questions. So, first of all, maybe the most famous is Rashi. ויביאו את המשכן שלא היו יכולים להקימו. Why did they bring it to Moshe? Because they couldn't put it together. Why? Try to imagine a huge, I don't remember now the measurement, but a huge tent. In order to lift it with beams, each one of them 5 meters. Yeah, 10 amot. 4.8, depends in the opinions, or 6. Yeah, it's quite tall. It's like a two-story building. Two-story building. Yeah, so you have to lift it with the beams and then put this huge tents. So today, in order to make such tents, you needed special equipment, right? You don't just have that. So they couldn't do that, even many people together. I guess there are some tricks. If they could build the pyramids, they could build the tent. Well, so how could Moshe do that? Of course, with a miracle.
I mean, the other day.
Well, that Moshe was very tall and very big. You're talking about the Midrash, about the fight with Og. I don't think you should understand this Midrash literally, that he was 5 meters and stuff. No, I don't think so. But anyway, Rashi says a fact. They brought it to Moshe because they couldn't build it by themselves. And why? Well, so why Moshe would be able to do that? לפי שלא עשה משה שום מלאכה במשכן, because Moshe himself didn't do anything. He just gave all the instructions. You know, these people that sitting, telling the instruction, everybody is doing. Is it important to give instructions? Yes. I remember I have commander in the army. So there are like training. And when they're training, there are some other commanders that are testing, examining, and after they give comments. So they give comments to the soldiers, but also they check in the commanders, right? How did they behave? And I remember that he told the commander, you are running first too fast. You don't look that the people are behind you. You want to go yourself, but you are not going to win the fight by yourself. You need the soldiers with you. So he was very, very good runner. Very fast. So he was running everybody after him, trying to, and he was already there. So he told him, you cannot be there. So it's important that the commander will be sitting behind and giving instructions. But he didn't do something with his hands. And he felt apparently that he should have done something with his hands. So since Moshe didn't do anything in the Mishkan, הקדוש ברוך הוא let him, הניח לקדוש ברוך הוא הקמתו, to put it together. שלא היה יכול להקימו שום אדם, that no person could did that, could establish it or assembled it because of the weight of the beams. שאין כוח באדם לזוקפן. Nobody has enough power to put them straight, to stand, to make them stand. ומשה העמידו. אמר משה לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא, איך אפשר הקמתו על ידי אדם? How a man can do that? So Hashem told him, you should do that. How can I do that? אמר לו, עסוק אתה בידיך, you will play with your hands, ונראה כמקימו. It looks like you are making it stand, doing it, והוא נזקף וקם מאליו. And it will be from itself. וזהו שנאמר, הוקם המשכן. So later it's going to say that the Mishkan was built. It doesn't say Moshe built, it was built. It was built by himself, meaning by a miracle, not by anyone that was doing that practically. This is Midrash Rav Tanchuma. So I don't know what is the meaning of this Midrash. What do you think? What does it mean, all of that? That it was brought to Moshe. Moshe was playing with that, and it was built by itself. Actually, maybe just.
Is it like the Aron or I mean
the menorah?
they carried, yeah, but you know they had
that they carried. It was carried itself. Yeah,
they
that
carried itself. But
yeah.
they
They still had to take it, and it was carried itself. It looked like they are carrying it. So maybe I don't sure, but maybe the idea here is that you cannot really build a house for God in this world, or you cannot really create holiness in this world. It's Hashem creating it, but He wanted us to make the action that it looks like we are doing that. So we are making it what, and He is the one who's sending the blessing and the holiness. So even the Mishkan, that he ordered us to build, it's actually, he is giving us the opportunity to do the efforts in order that he will be able to send the blessing to this world. So maybe this is the meaning of that. Oh,
I'm not sure if it works, because eventually, when they were traveling in the desert, Levim were taking it down and erecting it again.
yeah, but it still was by a miracle. No? Because it
Moshe
says
said
here.
no man was able to do it.
So yeah, so they couldn't do that only because of the blessing of Hashem. No?
No.
Okay, we continue. I put it in the wrong place. Oh, no, it wouldn't be here. Never mind. Here, it should be here. It's a good thing that you have it in there. Yeah. So the next Rashi speaks about ויברך אותם משה. אמר להם, יהי רצון שתשרה שכינה במעשה ידיכם. Rashi said, what is a blessing? He said, יהי רצון, I wish, or will it be the will of God, that the Shekhinah, the divine presence, will be in the actions of your hands, in the deeds of your hands. ויהי נועם, השם אלוקינו עלינו, מעשה עלינו כוננה עלינו, מעשה עלינו כוננהו. This is a verse in Tehillim, that the Noam, what do you say Noam? The pleasant of Hashem would be upon you. והוא אחד מי"א מזמורים שבתפילה למשה. So how, where does this verse come from? It's from the Psalms in Tehillim that starts with the word, תפילה למשה איש האלוקים. So this is a prayer for Moshe. What prayer for Moshe? This is a prayer that Moshe said. So he doesn't say that he said all the prayer, but he said at least this verse that it's in Tfilah Moshe was said by Moshe when he blessed Am Israel. So if you look on this, so it doesn't say that he said all the prayer psalm, but maybe he did. Because if you look on the psalm, it's interesting to see how it starts. תפילה למשה איש האלוקים, השם מעון אתה היית לנו. Hashem, you were our מעון. What is מעון? מעון is like house, but it's not one of the names of the mishkan. Right? Ma'on is the house of God. So he said, Hashem, you were our mishkan. Not the mishkan is your home. You are our home. Meaning it's maybe the same idea. So first of all, we can see the connection. It's related in some way to the house of God, but he's replacing the site. It's not that we are creating place for God, it is our place. We are living in the place which is God. Okay, so Hashem ma'on ata hayta lanu bedor vador. You are our house for all the generations. Maybe also when there isn't a mishkan, you always our house. Beterem arim yuladu, and then it says before the birth of the mountains. What does it mean, the birth of the mountains? The creation of the world. ותחולל ארץ ותבל. So before you created the earth and the universe, meaning you already were our ma'on, our house. We didn't exist, meaning that what you want to say that he existed before all the creation, and of course before the Mishkan. So many times there is a comparison between the creation and the work of the Mishkan. When we created the Mishkan, we like created a little world. Mishkan is compared to the world from one side and for human being from the other side. So by creating the Mishkan is like creating again the world. But we said, Hashem, you were before that, before all of that things. And then you created the world, and then there is human being, and then there is a sin. And the rest of the Mizmor, I didn't bring all the Mizmor, speaks a lot about the tshuva, about the ability to correct and fix the mistakes. And of course, we know that the Mishkan and the temple are related strongly with the idea of tshuva, because we are bringing korbanot for our sins. So the Mishkan represents the idea that it is possible to renew and to re-establish our relationship with Hashem, to create from the beginning, to fix the mistakes of the past. So he says, Tashev enosh adaka v'tomer shuvu bnei adam, return to me. And you can do that through the Mishkan. And then it ends with this verse that Moshe said to Am Israel. V'hi noam Hashem Elokeinu aleinu. So there is three parts to this verse. The presence of Hashem will be upon us, without us doing anything, the first part. right? So it's Hashem is sending his inspiration or his blessing to us, and then uma'aseh yadenu konena alenu. So the actions of our hands, we can say satisfied us. Konena alenu. I don't know exactly how to translate konena. It's like להכין, to create blessing upon us. ומעשה ידינו כוננהו. In the beginning, כוננה עלינו, on us. In the second part, כוננהו, it what? The world, I don't know, the outside, the other existence. Okay, so we see the three levels. First, Hashem bless us, then we are able to create something for us, and then we are able to create something for the entire world. So he blessed, Moshe blessed Am Yisrael, that it's going to be like that, right? That the action that you're doing going to, after that, influence all world. And we know, כי ביתי בית תפילה יקרא לכל העמים. My house will be for all the nations. First of all, עלינו, and then for all the nations, not only for Am Yisrael. So this is a blessing that, according to the Midrash, that Moshe said directly from the Psalms, that it says, תפילה למשה איש האלוקים. Okay, now let's see some of the mefarshim on these verses. So this is Rashi, and basically everybody agree with Rashi, with the interpretations. They're just interpreting what Rashi said. So let's say we start with Biur Yashar, still not Chassidut. ויברך אותם משה. He speaks about the part that Moshe blessed them. כבר ביארנו שבשעת מתן תורה זכו ישראל למעלה הנפלאה להיות ליבם מצייר בדרכי החוכמה בטבע, כמו שהיה קודם חטאו של אדם הראשון. So I explained already in other place that in the moment of Matan Torah, Am Yisrael arrived to a very wonderful level, stage, that their heart could understood, metzayer, meaning imagine to himself, the ways of wisdom by nature, the same as it was before the sin of the first man. So I just explain a little bit. There are many places when it says that Am Yisrael in Mount Sinai arrived to the level of the first man before the sin. So we have very short time that humanity was almost perfect. In the moment before the sin, according to Chachamim, the first man was created on Friday. In the same day, he made the sin. So there was a long time in the world without sin. But in this wonderful few moments of idealic existence of the human being, he was almost perfect in the way that he was connected to the Creator, to Hashem, by nature. It's not, it wasn't something that he had to struggle to achieve. It was natural for him to be good. The big question here, so how did he make the sin? If it was natural to him to be connected to God, how would he arrive to make the sin? It's a question that I'm not sure what's the answer, and we leave it for other time. But we know that it was a short time when it was like that. It was good by nature, and he was smart and wise by nature, and he could understand God by nature. And then it was destroyed by the sin, and there was a long process of correction through Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Am Yisrael, Yetziat Mitzrayim, Exodus, 3 months of Sfirat HaOmer, Shavuot, Matan Torah, Am Yisrael arrived to the same level. And then, Chet HaEgel. And again, everything was broken again. But it says that Am Yisrael could arrive in Matan Torah to this highest level, say, but from the sin of the golden calf, נעמדה מהם הסגולה הזאת. They lost this. והנה עתה, now, שנבנה משכן, that the משכן was built, והבטיח השם ברוך הוא שישכן בתוכה. Hashem promised them that it will be among them. How do you say ישכון? Dwell among them. היה זה הכנה חדשה שיזכו למתנה הגדולה הזאת אם יטיבו מעשיהם. So there is now a potential to return to that. It doesn't say that they arrive to return to that, but the Mishkan is a possibility, is creating the possibility to arrive to the same level of being good by nature, or being wise by nature, if they are going to correct their actions. And that was the blessing of Moshe. לכן ברך אותם משה שיזכו לטובה הזאת. ומה מתקו דברי חז"ל, the words of חכמים are so sweet, that they said, שיתפלל עליהם ויהי נועם השם אלוקינו מעשה עלינו כוננהו. That's what he prayed to them. Why? כי כל המזמור ההוא, all this song, זה תפילה למשה, נוסד על הכוונה הזאת, is about that. ובו התפולל משה על עם ישראל, משה prayed for עם ישראל, שירחם השם עליהם, השם will have mercy with them, ויתוקן העולם כבראשונה, קודם חטא אדם הראשון. That the world will be fixed as it was before the sin of the golden calf. So that's what we saw. He spoke about the creation of the world, that Hashem was before that, and then he spoke about the sin of human being and the way to correct it, right, to fix the sin. So he says, this is the blessing of Moshe Rabbeinu, that you will be able to return to your level before the sin of the golden calf. So this is an explanation to what is the blessing exactly. Now I return, again, it's not necessarily connected to each other, it's just different mefarshim about the things that written in these verses. So we mentioned before that Moshe saw that they did as Hashem ordered. So what is so special about that? If they brought, you could see, and of course they did according to the orders. What would they invite a new way to create the mishkan? So Netziv Volozhin explained, "Istakel od bechol melacha." He looked farther in all the work that they did. V'hineh lefele bena. It was wonderful or surprising in his eyes. Why? Ki asu ta kasher tziva Hashem. That they did exactly as Hashem ordered. Why is it surprising? Bakabalot shebe'al peh. They not only did as the written word, they did it also according to the traditions that not necessarily Moshe told them all the details. So apparently there was Torah shebichtav and Torah shebe'al peh. The Torah shebichtav, what we read, but there was much more details in the Torah shebe'al peh that were told to Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu didn't tell them everything because it wasn't enough time. That's what he says. והיה לפלא, כי עוד לא היה שהות כל כך ללמדם כל ההלכות. He didn't have enough time to teach them all the laws, all the halachot. ולשים בפיהם שיגיעו למעשה בלי שיבוש. And to put there in their mouths in the way that they won't have any mistake. So how did they do that? So Moshe didn't teach them. What it says here, there is hints in some midrashim.
Well, they had chokhmat lev.
Yeah, chokhmat lev and betzel el. Yeah. So באמת כל זה נעשה, this achievement was achieved by the power of Betzalel. So Betzalel, Hachamim say that the word Betzalel is Betzel El, in the shade of God, meaning that it was there in the shade, shadow, in the shadow of God. He was there in the shadow. Hashem was speaking with Moshe, Betzalel was in the shadow listening. What does it mean? וכיוון מעצמו הלכות המשכן. He, from himself, from his wisdom and his feeling, I don't know, instincts, and talent, he could do exactly as Hashem ordered Moshe, even without Moshe telling him. And not only that, also, שראה שעשו כל דבר לשמו. I want to say, not only in the technical aspect of creating the Mishkan, also with the kavanot, the intention. As we said, the Mishkan represent a lot of deeper intentions and kavanot, and they were able to do everything according to the kavanot. So when it says that they did exactly as Hashem said, it's something that you need contemplation. That's what he says, Vayar Moshe. It's not only that he saw that he brought, he saw in the Ruach HaKodesh that everything was done according to the exact orders, instructions of God, and also in the inside part, in the interior part, that they did according to all the kavanot that Moshe ordered, that were ordered by Hashem to them. Okay, ועשו כל דבר לשמו, to the kavana, with the right intention of what they did. Okay, so this is some comments about the Pshat. Now we are going to the level of Chassidut. We have three ideas from the Chassidut. The first of them, I must say, I talked about it a few weeks ago in the synagogue, about the prayer of the tzaddik. And it's a concept that I'm not sure that everybody agree with that, but it's a very strong in the Hasidic world. We talked about several times the function or the rule of the tzaddik. The tzaddik, the head of the Hasidut or the head of the generation, has special rule in creating the connection between Am Yisrael and God. So we need this intermediate part in order to help us to connect with Hashem in the right way, or to serve Hashem in the right way. So usually we go to the tzaddik to ask for advice, to learn from him, to do many things. So it's more than just a rabbi. To a rabbi, you maybe go and hear his class or ask him a question if you have a halachic question. If you appreciate his wisdom, you may ask an advice in other issues, but it's not like an order. So you have a problem, you want to know if you have to get married with that woman. So maybe you will ask your rabbi if you trust his wisdom or something like that. But it's not that the rabbi will tell you what to do. In the Chassidut, it's many times more than that. If they ask him also, should I get married? Should I do this operation? Should I go to the hospital? So not everybody agrees with this attitude, right? Not everybody agrees that this is the right thing, right?
How does someone become a tzaddik? You say it's not just a rabbi, like how does?
The tzaddik of the Chassidut usually is I don't know, so named or crowned as a rabbi, and they are coming there. When the rabbi passed away, usually he leave in order who's going to be in his place. And sometimes it's divided, so we have several rabbis, usually it's gone from father to son. But even if the specific way it was developed, it's not exactly maybe the ideal way, sometimes it's just the son of him. The son is 9 years old, what tzaddik can be. I don't know about that specific cases, but generally speaking, they're saying every generation has tzaddikim, righteous people which are in a higher level, and they are crucial in the creation of the relationship with God. You need them. And they have many functions in the Chassidut. They are praying for everybody, and they have the power to chant things, etc. And they have some kind of Ruach HaKodesh. So again, this rule, not everybody agree, but for the Chassidut, it's very crucial, it's very principal in all the way we serve Hashem. And also related to the tefillah. So I talked about ask him to pray for you in the drasha a few weeks ago, which is also, you can ask, what is better? He pray for me, I pray for myself. Here he speaks about other issue. Also, when you pray for yourself, you should, in your kavanah, connect it with the tefillah of the tzaddik. Let's see in his words and try to explain that. וכל תפילה ותפילה שכל אחד מתפלל. Each prayer that every person pray, הוא בחינת איבר מהשכינה. It's like an organ from the divine presence. You are creating an organ or connecting to an organ from the divine presence, but only one organ. שהם איברי המשכן. This is compared to the different parts of the mishkan. Right? The tefillah, we say that the tefillah is instead of korbanot. The korbanot are done in the mishkan. So the tefillah is related to the mishkan. So he says, שאין אחד, שום אחד מישראל, every individual is only one. It's only one utensil, only part of one utensil. So it's very, very partial. So nobody that is alone can, לעלה שייפה בשייפה כל חד לדופתה, אלא משה בלכות. So I'm not sure what is the meaning of the word shaifa. I looked a little bit to the internet. Apparently, it's a sailing, a roof. So you should elevate your tefillah from a level to level, from a roof to a roof that above. I'm not sure this is the right explanation, but anyway, the idea is clear. So it says nobody can connect all these tefillot and elevate them to Hashem apart from Moshe. So Moshe is always the tzaddik of the generation, is Pchinat Moshe, is the same aspect of Moshe. So everybody can pray, but not anybody can rise his prayer to Hashem, elevate his presence. ובשביל זה צריך, and for that you need, להביא ולקשר כל התפילות לצדיק הדור. You must bring all the prayers to the tzaddik of the generation, to tie it to the prayer of the tzaddik. כמו שכתוב, the proof for that is our verse, ויביאו את המשכן אל משה. They brought the mishkan, meaning everybody brought his tefillah to the tzaddik. Or everybody should bring his tefillah to the tzaddik, and he knows how to le'ala shaifa b'shaifa. This is Rav Nachman Breslev, right? He knows how to elevate them. ולעשות אותם קומה שלמה, and to gather all the prayer together and make a complete things. כמו שכתוב, that's what it says, ויקם משה את המשכן. So Moshe took all the parts. He was the only one who was able to connect them all together. So when we are praying individually, it's not very strong. But if you want prayer to come to Hashem, you should think, I connect my prayer to the prayer of the tzaddik. So I pray to Hashem, I'm not praying to the tzaddik. It's important to emphasize. We are not praying for the tzaddik. But we ask him if he can take our small, poor tefillah and connect it to the rest of the tefillot of Am Yisrael, and then we create the mishkan. And Moshe, the tzaddik, is the one who's creating the mishkan. Who is it, tzaddik? So the tzaddikim, yeah, you should think about the tzaddik. I don't know who is the tzaddik for you of the generation. I don't know, maybe it's hard to
In every
say today.
generation, there is Lamed Vav.
Yeah, in every generation there are tzaddikim, but who is the tzaddik of the generation today? I don't know. Everybody
This
with
will become all those tzaddikim that people go to see, but they're not.
yeah. So for the Chassidut, everybody consider his Rebbe as a tzaddik. So that's why you Chassid because you believe he's a tzaddik of the generation. But I think that also the most of the Chassiduyot would agree that some of them are more important than others. Some say, I don't know, Rebbe of Viznitz, Rebbe of Gur, I don't know exactly, Belz maybe. There are several tzaddikim that are important today. And also other people would consider other people as tzaddikim also, that are not necessarily from the Hasidic world. But this is the idea here of the tefillah. So you are not going to Hashem, you are not sending your tefillah directly to Hashem alone. You are sending it through the tzaddik that we collect. So I don't know exactly if you have to think about specific tzaddik. I don't know. I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm not working in this way. Maybe I'm mistake. I'm wrong. But that's what it says. That this is the idea of bringing to Moshe and Moshe collecting them and build the mishkan and bring it to Hashem. So this is a Hasidic idea about that. Another idea of the Sfat Emet, it says, במדרש, רבות בנות עשו חיל, ואת היית על כולן. We say this in Eshet Chayil, right? In Eshet Chayil, so what is Eshet Chayil about? If you see in the mentioning that we have in the shul, you see that it says in the beginning that Eshet Chayil is for the wife, but also it may symbolize Shabbat, and the Shekhinah, and the Torah, and many, many things, right? So this Eshet Chayil, this woman, can be many things. In this case, it's Moshe Rabbeinu, according to the Midrash. It says, what does it mean that Moshe was more than, what it says, the verse? Many people, many women, many girls did great things, Chayil, did important things, but you more than everyone. Who is this you that did more than all the other girls? So according to all the Mishalim that we said, what? Shabbat is more than all the other days of the week, right? Torah is more than all the other wisdoms. The divine presence is more than what? I don't know. That did good things. So you should see how, according to each metaphor, every verse goes. So here the Midrash says the Eshet Chayil is Moshe Rabbeinu. That everybody, a lot of people did many important things, also in the building of the Mishkan. But you, Moshe, more than everybody. What does it mean more than everybody? He didn't do anything, as we say. No, but it did the last action of building the Mishkan. So all of Israel did a lot of things, important things. But you, Moshe, more than everyone, שמשה רבנו עליו השלום, הקים המשכן. But Moshe Rabbeinu did the Mishkan. Now the Sfat Emet explains that, and he says, בא לרמוז, it hints us, כי אף על פי שיד כל בני ישראל היה בזה. Even though all of Israel participated in this big project, huge project, רק כפי עבודת הכלל, כך נתעלה משה רבנו להקימו. So we should understand this verse in another way. What does it mean that many girls did good things, did chayil, and you more than everybody? What is more? The word more here, maybe it's not right. From their work, you could elevate more than the rest. I mean, because of them, because of all the good works that all the other people did, that's the reason you could elevate yourself. So we understand that the work of everybody else affect this Eshet Chayil. Again, if we're talking about the metaphors, according to the works that you do during the whole week, you can elevate more on Shabbat. According of the wisdoms that you learn, as the Rambam say, you must learn all the wisdoms in order to be able to learn the Torah properly. You must know biology and math and everything, so according, you are wiser in all the other Chokhmot, you will be also wiser in the Torah. I'm not sure in this case, but so according to that, the fact that everybody participated and create and build the Mishkan, this gave power to Moshe Rabbeinu to elevate more than everything else. So according to that, again, we are talking to the tzaddikim and the relationship with the tzaddikim. The tzaddik himself can be elevated more if the people are elevating themselves. If the people behave, the tzaddik has more power. And then he continues saying, כמו תרומה שמתעלה כל השיעריים על ידי התרומה. So, and then we continue another step. If the tzaddik is more elevated, the rest of the people also are more elevated. And it comparing it to truma. So what are you doing? You have the yevul, you have the harvest, and you take part of it, you say, this is holy. And you are sanctifying that, and that's holy. By making the truma, the part of the truma holy, the rest of the food also get holiness. Of course, you can eat that, not in Bet HaMikdash. It's not holy in the meaning that you're not allowed to eat that, not pure, etc. But meaning by taking part and give it to Hashem, the rest also get this elevation. Everything is elevated to God by taking part and giving it to Hashem. So that's what he says here. The truma mit'ala kol hashiarayim. So the truma elevates the rest of the harvest, but without the rest of the harvest, there's no truma. You cannot give truma if you don't have the rest of the harvest. So you cannot be Moshe Rabbeinu if you don't have the rest of the people. And if the rest of the people are misbehaving, so Moshe Rabbeinu is also going down. When Moshe Rabbeinu was in Har Sinai and they did the egel, what Hashem told him, Lech red ki shichet amecha. You should go down because your people sinned. So we understand it, go down from the mountain, but also go down from your nivel. Like Rashi says, רד לך ממעלתך. נתתי לך גדולה בשבילם. I gave you greatness because of them. If they are not deserve that, you cannot also, yeah.
And then Hashem was gonna like destroy the people.
Yeah, and start building from the beginning. But since they exist, he cannot separate themselves from it. If they are not existing, okay. I think that also the offer of Hashem was only to make Moshe beg for them.
Oh.
I think so. But it's another.
It.
Yeah, but anyway, what he's saying here, there is a mutual influence between the people and the tzaddik, or the people and Moshe Rabbeinu in this case. Everybody brought, רבות בנות עשו חיל, ועד Moshe was elevated from all of that, and then he could sanctify the rest of the people. כי היה משה רבנו עליו השלום, התרומה מכללות ישראל. משה רבנו is a תרומה from the rest of עם ישראל. וכן כתוב, ויביאו את המלאכה אל משה, זה היה תיקון שלהם, so their תיקון, their work was bringing it to משה, ואחר כך נתן משה רבנו עליו השלום ידו, and he built it, and this was the work of Moshe, and by that it's like, again, mutual influence. Okay? It's clear, this explanation? Okay, we have another time, a little bit more time to the last one. I hope we're going to see all of that. I mentioned before that Moshe saw. The Torah says that Moshe saw. What Moshe saw? So we saw, the Netziv said, they saw that they did exactly as Hashem ordered, even the things that weren't said, or the interior things. So this is see, that Moshe saw. Here, you have another explanation. We talked, I think, one of the classes about blessing. How do you bless someone? And we said you have to imagine him in front of you. And here he speaks about the importance of seeing directly, right, in blessing. He says, in order to Moshe to bless them, he should see what they did. The sense of seeing creates this spatial connection that enable you to bless. So he brings a lot of proof of that. This is Tiferet Shlomo, another Hasidic Rebbe, and he says, "Vayar Moshe et kol hamelacha." Moshe saw all the work, "Vayivarech otam Moshe," and he blessed them. Uferesh Rashi explains, "Sheberecham yeh ratzon shetishre shchina b'maaseh yedechem v'inoam v'chule." He says that the Shechina will dwell, right, in the deeds of your hands, and v'inoam Hashem Elokenu, etc. Hanireh be'avanat ha'inyan. To understand that, I think this is the explanation. The inactive, Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, v'hineh tov meod. Hashem saw everything that he did, and everything was very good. What does it mean? Again, it's the creation of the world, right? So he said, Hashem created that, and he saw that it was good. What does it mean that he saw that it was good? He knew that it was good. I mean, the result was good. It emphasized the seeing of Hashem, the contemplation, the seeing of Hashem. Hashem saw that it was very good. In the end, all the days it said Hashem saw that it was good. And in the end of the world, he said he saw everything that he did, and it was very good. Anyway, it repeats all the time that Hashem saw. What is the meaning that Hashem see? כי הנה כתיב, רצה לומר, כי הנה כתיב, טוב עין הוא יבורך. One who has good eye will be blessed. פירוש, על ידי הראייה בעין טובה. If you have good eye, what is good eye? seeing the good in things, וההערה הרבה אשר התנוצת השם יתברך כביכול בעולמו, על זה הוא טוב מאוד. So while Hashem seeing the things, the good things in the world, by that they become good. Okay, by looking on them and giving them the energy of God. כי זה העניין הראייה להשפיע הערה. So the seeing things is to give it illumination. להשפיע. How do you say להשפיע? Do you know?
Influence.
No, I don't think להשפיע. It's like emanation. Right? I think this is the word. Emanate. Emanation is when something comes. No? Shefa, there is a word like that.
Oh, Shefa is blessing.
Yeah. השפעה.
Mashpia
Yeah, it's an influence, but there is a no, I don't remember the word. And
Emanate is a word.
emanate,
Yeah.
which means
That something comes from it.
yeah, emanate. So this emanation, this is the word that usually is used in the
Like
Kabbalah.
root of something,
What?
the root of something, the result of something.
Some blessings that come from the sky. It's called usually emanate
Oh.
from the sky or something like that. Okay, and what I'm trying, what we say two things. In order to bless something, you have to see it, and the seeing is some kind of creating a connection that you are influenced, the good emanates the good from Hashem. When Hashem saw things, he emanates the good from him to the creation. So this is when it's come from Hashem. וגם בחינת הראייה הוא חיות פנימי להחיותם מטובו. Meaning when you're seeing, he gives them the livelihood, or the חיות,
essence, life,
the essence, the interior living from life from Hashem, to give them life from his goodness. לכן, בכל מקום אשר תביא בחינת הראייה שלמעלה, תבוא ברכה עמה. Every place in the Torah, he says, I didn't check, but he says, every place in the Torah, when he says that Hashem watched or saw something, immediately after that, there was something good happening. Okay? So the viewing, the contemplation of Hashem create good. For example, so he gives several examples. כמו שכתוב במצרים, וירא אלוהים לבני ישראל וכולי, ואחר כך נאמר מיד, ומשה היה רואה. בת סמיכות הגאולה והישועה עמה. It says that Hashem saw them suffering, and immediately after that it says, and Moshe was a shepherd, and then he went to the mount, etc. So the redemption started immediately after Hashem saw. So we see that the seeing of Hashem, the contemplation of Hashem, create blessing. ולכן נאמר, and also it says, הבט משמיים הוא רואה שוממותנו. We say in the verse of prayer that say, look from the sky and see our desolation, maybe, שוממותנו, that we are desolated. What does it mean that you see? Why do we want him to see? Because the fact, usually we understand, is see and will act. No, the seeing itself, it's creating the blessing. בראייה לבד תושיע. By seeing alone, you will redeem us and will build our ruins. לא כמו שהסתרת פניך ממנו. The opposite of that is when Hashem hits his face. So the opposite of hits his face is looking. When you're looking, the redemption comes. וכן כתיב, השקיפה ממעון קודשך. ברך את עמך על ידי ההשקפה והייחוד בעולמות עליונים, וברך את עמך תבוא לנו ברכה. We said, when we are bringing ביקורים, right? So we read the מקרא ביקורים, the verses that about ביקורים, and then we say in the end, השקיפה ממעון קודשך וברך את עמך. Look from the house of your dwelling in the heaven and bless your nation. So again, look. By looking, Hashem blessing. Etc. I will skip this one. ולכן כתיב, now we return to Yaakov, and I mentioned that when we talked about the brachot, right? So about Yaakov it says, ועיני ישראל כבדו מזוקן. That the eyes of Yaakov were too heavy from being old. So we usually understand he couldn't see. And then he mixed his hand, and Yosef saw because he didn't see. Right? So this is a literal understanding of the verses. But now we explain it totally differently. What does it mean, kavdu? Kavdu, heavy, can be also read as mechubadim. What is mechubadim? Respected, honored. What does it mean, zoken? Zkenim, usually we translate as old, but old in Jewish, it's wise also. They were so honored and respect from the wisdom of Yaakov, me'al ma'ilah, from the superior world. ולא יכול לראות עוד בעולם הזה מגודל הקדושה. So he was so elevated, he arrived in the ends of his life to such an elevated level that he couldn't see everything in this world. This was too far from him. He was already kavdu mizoken, meaning he was so respected, so honored, so elevated from his wisdom that he wasn't connected with this world. So it's in this case, he couldn't see the world, he couldn't bless the world. לכן כתיב, ויגש אותם לברכם בידיו. So that's the reason he should have touched them. We don't see in other places that person should touch in order to bless. We do see that where, again, with Yitzchak. Gshana v'avarchecha bni. It said, Yitzchak said to Yaakov, come to me so I can bless you. But when we say in other places that someone should touch with
And Aaron didn't.
the Kohanim, do they touch you? No, they're just doing like that. But there he has to touch. Smicha on the korban.
Yeah,
This is the other thing. We say, this is my korban. By doing that, it's not you're not blessing the korban.
what about Yaakov and Menashe and Ephraim?
Exactly, we're talking here about Yaakov and Ephraim is saying. He says why he should touch them because he couldn't see them. So usually bracha work by seeing, but when you cannot see like Yaakov, like Yitzchak, you should touch. Okay, so again we see that the seeing creates a blessing. Returning to our verse, וזה שכתוב גם כן כאן, וירא משה את כל המלאכה ויברך אותה משה. פירוש, על ידי שראה והביט, by seeing and watching them, משה בעין טובה, with good eye, את כל המלאכה, at all the things that they did, המשיך ממקור הברכה והאור העליון, so he could emanate, pull from the source of the blessing and the superior light, קור הברכה והאור העליון, ובזה היה מקום להשראת השכינה על כל המלאכה. And that's the reason that the שכינה could be upon all this work. כי אף על פי שכל מלאכת המשכן נעשתה בכוונות וייחודים הגדולים, even though all the creation, all the building of the משכן was done with all the כוונות, all the intentions, all the ייחודים, all the secrets, בכל זאת, it wasn't enough. It was needed like the final act of Moshe seeing it and blessing it. So, בכל זה הוא צריך לראות משה רבינו שלום להמשיך הערה והנשמה לכל דבר. To pull the illumination and the soul to everything. וזהו, וירא משה ויברך. כי הוא ראה והתקין צורות וחיות לכל דבר, והיא הברכה, יהי רצון שתשרה שכינה מעשה ידיכם. This is the blessing that he also said. What he says, that the blessing will be dwelling, again I'm using this word, in the act of the deeds of your hands. So all started with seeing. So again, returning to that, they built everything, they did the best they could. The blessing is still, the illumination, the light is not yet in that, until Moshe will see that. And by seeing, only by that he could send the bracha. And also saying the bracha only in this moment, for real, the Shekhinah was inside the action of Am Yisrael. What we can learn from that, I don't know exactly, but for practical applications for that. So we say when we bless someone, we should at least imagine him, but also it's better to see him, right? To look on the children when you're blessing them, to look on the people you're blessing them. I saw many rabbis that when they're blessing, they are closing their eyes and then they bless. So they prefer the touching. I don't know what is better. According to that, it's better to see only when you cannot see. When you're too elevated, then you should touch. This is according to this explanation again, but I don't know exactly.
Does it
what is
also
right.
imply that you should be seeing things with a good eye?
Yeah, of course. Maybe the most important part. Don't just look on it. See the good on it, in him. So when you're seeing the good in him, then you can bless him. מה למה? אנחנו כותבים בקבוצה, אתה לא רואה? אוקיי. Just a second. We just finished.